Some new numbers in the governor's race with an early lead for the incumbent, Scott Walker, over Mary Burke. Still, barely 10% of the votes have been counted so far.
That's right, and that's really one of the most important races. A lot of people both in the state and in the nation have been watching this one. As you said, the early lead right now going to Scott Walker. We are going to be checking in with his camp in just a bit. But right now, we are going to check in with Burke's camp. She is in the Madison area this evening, and that's where Andrew Lacombe is covering the story for us as well. Let's check in with Andrew.
Good evening, Michelle, from Madison, the Overture Center, just a couple blocks from the state capitol. This is where Mary Burke hopes to give a victory speech this evening. And as you look behind me, you can see her supporters are here. Plenty of people have arrived in the last hour watching national election results come in on cable TV. They're also just milling about, talking about why they support Mary Burke. Of course, Burke has said Wisconsin needs a change, and she hopes to be that change as she perhaps could become the first female governor in Wisconsin history. I talked to Burke's spokesperson just a moment ago. He says Mary Burke is in the building watching results come in with family and friends.
And in our area, we're following two local congressional races. One of those is in the 6th District. That's where Democrat Mark Harris is facing Republican State Senator Glenn Grothman. Here are the early results so far, with the lead going to Grothman. Now, both Grothman and Harris are in our area this evening. Fox 11's Ben Krumholtz is in Fond du Lac with Grothman's campaign. Ben, what's the mood there like so far?
Well, Michelle, the party is well underway here at the Holiday Inn in Fond du Lac, and Glenn Grothman's supporters started showing up here just about when the polls were closing at 8 o'clock. There's also about a handful of area state assembly candidates here. Grothman, who's from Campbellsport, has served in the state senate the past 10 years.
Now, tonight's results for the 6th District will determine who will succeed. Longtime Congressman Tom Petri, the 74-year-old Fond du Lac Republican, is retiring after 35 years in Congress. He's been there since winning a special election in 1979. But Petri did not endorse the Republican running to replace him. That's Glenn Grothman. Grothman said he would be insulted if people compared him to Petri, so Petri refused to endorse his campaign. Democrat Mark Harris, the Winnebago County executive, says he's not surprised Petri won't endorse his opponent. He even takes Petri's move as close to an endorsement of his own campaign.
The 8th District, that's where Republican incumbent Reed Ribble is looking to hold on to his seat. He is facing Democrat Ron Gritt. You can take a look and see that the early numbers coming in show Ribble with the advantage 65% to 35%. Fox 11's Laura Smith joins us now from Rock Garden in Green Bay with the Ribble campaign. Laura?
Hi, Michelle. As you can see, packed room here tonight. Lots of people here. The mood is upbeat. People are really excited about this race, and Representative Ribble is monitoring the results along with everyone else. He's also taking time to meet and shake hands, take pictures with supporters. People here are just anxious to see the outcome of this race. And
it's not just a big night in Wisconsin. It's also a big night across the country, because on the national scene, there are several tight Senate races. Today's elections will determine the balance of power in the United States Senate. Republicans need 6 seats to take control of the Senate. Right now, the Dems are in charge. A GOP takeover would make it difficult for the president, Barack Obama, to advance his agenda in his final 2 years of office. Now, 2 of the Senate races could possibly be headed for runoff elections. In that case, we may not even know who has the majority for a few weeks. Mark Leland and his panel of experts join us now with more on how this balance of power, Mark, could swing.
Well, that's right, Michelle. You know, Republicans, as you mentioned, control the House of Representatives going into today's election. They have a 33-seat advantage, as you can see here. And then over in the Senate, that balance of power could swing. That's what you've been talking about, where there's an 8-seat difference here, and they only needed those few seats to get it. And we're told right now the net gain is 5 seats. For the Republicans, as those votes are coming in across the country. This is our political panel here. Let's start at the end. Professor at Lawrence University, Arnold Schober, give us an idea just how this is shaping up for the Republicans tonight.
I think so far they've got to be pleased. They are leading in a number of Senate races that they weren't expecting to be leading in Virginia, and possibly pulling off North Carolina as well. They've got to be pretty happy with the way things look right now.
And Bob Kiefert joining us for the Democratic view with the Green Bay Progressives. The Republicans Republicans seem to be steamrolling here in the Senate.
I believe it was President Obama said today, I think I heard that there hasn't been such a favorable lineup for a midterm election for the Republicans to gain a few seats since Eisenhower's years. So it's one of those elections that's almost preordained to end up as probably one that the Republicans are going to make great strides in.
All right, you're Mark Becker with the Brown County Republicans here. I mean, even the Democrats here in
Yeah, Gene, I tell you what, we are excited. It's going to be a wonderful evening for us. All good things.
And if this continues to hold true and the Republicans take over full control of the House and the Senate out there in Washington, what does this do setting up for the next election in 2 years when the president's up for election?
Well, I think what we can do is we can kind of force the president's hand on some issues like the Keystone Pipeline. It will actually get to his desk, and then he'll be forced to make a decision. So that can kind of set us up in 2016 to get a very good shot at regaining the presidency as well.
Bob, what do you think it shapes?
I think it can be a two-edged sword. It's one of those things where you say, well, okay, here's the keys. Now you figure out what to do to make it better. And if they can't get anything done either, with both of the House and the Senate, it might hurt them more than it helps in 2016.
Right. Scott Hurley joins us now live in our News and Content Center with more on that. Scott?
Tom and Michelle, you know very well because you've been part of it. We've been covering this campaign for more than a year. You can find all of our news stories at fox11online.com. Opinion polls, debates. In fact, you can rewatch both gubernatorial debates. You can rewatch our entire You Decide 2014 special at fox11online.com. All of that, of course, brings us to tonight. And tonight we've got live election results. We have a live chat where you can participate and you can take part and share your comments with our local political experts and hear what they think about the results as they come in. Of course, live streaming results, and we've got live reports from all of the campaign rallies around the state, and as these races are called, we'll have the candidate speeches as well. So you can check all that out at fox11online.com. We'll be here all night. Scott Hurley, Fox 11 News.
Both Grossman and Harris are in our area tonight, and let's check in with Fox 11's Alex Rinaldo at the Harris campaign in Oshkosh. Alex?
Well, hi, Tom. I'm here right now with Mark Harris. And Mark, you know, your opponent has the early lead here. Race hasn't been called yet, though. So what are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Well, you know, so much depends on where the votes have come in from. But the spread is getting pretty large. It's going to be pretty tough to overcome. Still hoping for the best.
So the Associated Press now declaring Scott Walker to be reelected as governor of Wisconsin. As we look at the numbers, the margin so far, just the raw votes, exceeds his vote total over Tom Barrett 4 years ago. All right, let's go to Robert Hornacek live at Walker headquarters.
And there is a lot of excitement here at State Fair Park in West Dallas as the crowd has been erupting over the last 10 minutes or so. Now that the Associated Press has officially called this race for Governor Scott Walker, I'm joined by John Nygren, the state representative for Marinette, who's the co-chair of the Joint Finance Committee. And John, what did you think this was going to happen as soon as it did?
Well, I think we had hoped by 10 o'clock that we'd have a outcome that we'd be happy with, and here we are. But with Governor Walker, I think he will set a clear agenda to continue to move our state in a positive direction.
All right, thank you very much, State Representative John Nygren. Governor Walker is here. He was watching some of the results come in here at State Fair Park. We're told that he should be coming out sometime in the next few minutes. We'll bring you that live here on Fox 11. Reporting live in West Dallas, Robert Hornacek, Fox 11 News.
Tonight, Wisconsin re-elected Governor Walker. And for many of us, it feels a bit like getting knocked down. But if I learned anything over the last 13 months, it is this. This state we all love so much is full of people and communities that can take a hit.
He's about to take the stage. Let's listen to what the newly elected governor has to say.
Now, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight, and I want to thank the folks at home for joining in with us. And to all of you who voted for me, thank you. And for those who didn't, I hope to earn your support at least and your respect over the next 4 years, because we got a lot of work to do.